Imagine yourself creating a really awesome video. However, some of the content, like the pictures, the music, and some clippings are copyrighted material. You then are a violator of the copyright. What is copyright infringement? What are the consequences of copyright infringement? And how can I avoid copyright infringement? These questions will be answered throughout the video. Okay, so for the first question, what is copyright infringement? Before that, let us first put things into context. It is not easy to write a book, record a video, compose a song, or take a picture. It takes time and effort. That is why it is unfair for someone to steal your work that you worked hard on and claim it as theirs. This is why there are copyright laws to prevent people from stealing your work and claiming it as theirs and even making money out of it. Copyright infringement, therefore, is just like theft. However, instead of stealing a physical property, you are stealing the intellectual property of a certain person. Therefore, it is not allowed. In line with this, YouTube frowns upon copyright infringement, and so a user is not allowed to post copyright infringing content in his YouTube channel. This is clearly stated in YouTube's community guidelines, which link is posted below. In fact, it says here, and I quote, "Respect copyright. Only upload videos that you made or that you are authorized to use." This means don't upload videos that you didn't make or use content in your videos that someone else owns the copyright to, such as music tracks, snippets of all copyrighted programs, or videos made by other users without necessary authorization. Okay, now that you know what copyright infringement is and why is it bad, let us now talk about some of the possible consequences when you upload copyrighted material on your YouTube videos. First, if people notice that you use copyrighted material inside your videos, people can flag them, and when it's flagged, YouTube will review it, and if it's found guilty of using copyrighted material without appropriate permission, your video will be removed from YouTube and then you will be given one strike. Second, if you do this again, you will accumulate another strike. One more time, and just like in baseball, 3 strikes will get you out of YouTube. Your account will be permanently banned and you'll be prohibited from creating any new accounts. Your problems, however, do not end by being blocked by YouTube. Third, you can actually be sued for copyright infringement. Many countries around the world actually have laws that prohibit copyright infringement, and so you can be either put to jail or fined with a big amount for violating copyright. Okay, now that we know that the consequences for copyright infringement is bad, how then do we prevent ourselves from becoming intellectual burglars? Avoiding copyright infringement is not that easy. Simply putting the creator of the content or putting a disclaimer won't cut it. To be extremely safe, the best way to avoid copyright infringement is to create your own content. By doing this, nobody can accuse you of stealing their work because you're the one who made your own pictures, illustrations, videos, and music. However, this seems to be impossible because not everyone is gifted in composing music or drawing pictures. So there's a possible solution for this. It's called the Creative Commons license. Creative Commons is basically a license which allows people to use the content provided that they give the credit to the owner or the original creator. There are many databases online that host Creative Commons content, and all you have to do is search it up. However, to make your life easier, I'll be posting some links for Creative Commons databases down below. Sometimes, using copyrighted material is allowed as long as it falls under the fair use. Fair use is basically some exemptions to copyrighted material. For instance, if you use copyrighted material for criticisms, news reportings, and remixes, they're generally allowed. However, the boundaries between fair use and not fair use are very unclear. In fact, it is the court that decides whether or not your use of the content of others is fair use or not. To be safe, if you really want to use copyrighted material, you should just ask the author or the owner of that material so if you can use their content, so that you won't have to face these problems that I mentioned earlier. So what have we learned today? Today, we learned about what is copyright infringement, what are the consequences of copyright infringement, especially in YouTube, and how do we avoid copyright infringement. I encourage all of you to stop violating copyright. I know that it's very tempting for you to use a music of someone else, especially if it's a popular song. However, it is better for us to follow the rules so that we don't get into any problems. I end by saying we should respect the intellectual property of others as we would want them to respect our intellectual property when we make our own things.